Hello, I'm Chris Williams, and I'm here with a review of War of the Realms, Issue 3. And I gotta tell you, the cover, I'm not really liking it. It's drawn well. The cover is by Arthur Adams and Matthew Wilson. But it just shows Thor being carried around by a bunch of giants while the other Avengers hide behind a rock looking to save him. I know it's supposed to give some sort of fierceness to the giants, but considering what happens later on in the issue, this just makes all the Avengers look all like cowards. It's not really good a bit of an issue. They could at least be ready to attack. It just looks like they're hiding like a bunch of little girls. But I will tell you, it's very well drawn. All right, we come to the part of the review where I once again go over the fact that Marvel keeps having a first few pages where they do nothing but list the people who worked on the comic book. No good art, no really great first page, just a bunch of lists of people's names. We come to the real first page where we have the All-Mother, Odin's wife, going into the Avengers Armory at Avengers Mountain, and she asks Captain America to get ready to rescue her son from the trolls. And he says, "Yes, ma'am, I surely do. When we do we leave?" Well, he answered her question like that. He gets the other Avengers, and they go out to go save Thor from the ice trolls. And, the ice giants. If I made any mistakes, I'm sorry about that, but the trolls are part of the giants in Norse mythology. Here we have, what's his name? The Norse god Heimdall, who despite being blinded, is teaching Daredevil with his own new godly powers to be able to sense where everything is so they can repower the Rainbow Bridge. Well, or at least have Daredevil act as the control device for the Rainbow Bridge. Daredevil draws out the sword and it begins to power him up with godly Asgardian power. And he becomes a new god of Asgard, or at least temporarily. And the artwork here by Russell Daverman is good, but it's not great. The coloring is what really sets it off, so if it didn't have that, it would just be more bland art, I think. Here we have Captain America wielding an axe. You call that weird-looking thing an axe. While the other Avengers, who now include Spider-Man and Wolverine, and Spider-Man keeps complaining that his weapon is a shield. I don't understand why they really needed weapons like that. Or why Spider-Man needed anything at all. And he got a shield. Considering how annoying he is, they should have just put a mouth guard or a helmet over Spider-Man's head. Power Man complains about that he doesn't like flying on this horse, and while his friend Iron Fist is enjoying himself immensely, but it's unfortunately a short ride because the ice giants hurl phone pole length-sized arrows at them, killing Power Man's horse and flinging him to the ground. Captain America screams, "Frost giant archers shooting arrows the size of telephone poles," and Spider-Man makes more bad jokes, saying about hiding behind his shield. And I gotta say, I really don't like Jason Aaron's portrayal of Spider-Man, and how Marvel keeps making Spider-Man a more sillier version of Deadpool. This is annoying, and you hate him. Another group of Avengers go and destroy the Malekith's Rainbow Bridge. Well, they have a different name for it, but it's just the same thing as the Rainbow Bridge in Asgard. But this group includes Blade, as well as the Punisher. We see here gunning down a bunch of dark elves with his death's head on his chest with the well, making it look sort of silly with all the elf clothes he's wearing, and it's just more jokes. Oh, they also have Ghost Driver, as well as horrible-looking She-Hulk. Yes, I'm just going to call her horrible-looking She-Hulk. Horrible-looking She-Hulk sounds like her cousin Bruce, while sounding like a moron. While Blade has his blades up on a car while he's on the back of it, while the Punisher continues to gun down Dark Elves. And it's just more useless padding. Here we have Malekith, who's taken the sword from the Black Knight. He says that it's a great weapon and should be in his hands because it's such a nice looking blade and it's so wonderfully cursed. As the Black Knight and other heroes from Europe are bleeding down on the ground. Now, the Black Knight is an American, an Avenger and stuff, but it doesn't really. He was pretty much probably helping Excalibur trying to fight Malekith. When suddenly they get reinforcements with another group of Avengers, unfortunately led by Carl Manvers, Captain Marvel, who also include Venom as well as Weapon H. And we also see Captain Britain in the background. They're obviously in Europe, as I've said, and they come to and they're calling themselves. Well, they're just the Avengers. I'm not going to really use the name that Jason Aaron called them because I think it's stupid. And here we have a bunch of frost giants and fire demons about to attack Avengers Mountain up in the Arctic. And it continues to be kind of boring. Black Panther is basically arming the security systems and the offensive systems at Avengers Mountain. And he's about to wreck the Frost Giants and Fire Demons' day. At least that's what the issue says. And the Fire Demons are also invading the oceans of Earth by using, well, apparently sharks made of lava. Here we have a panel of Namor fighting them in the ocean. And I gotta tell you, it's stupid. Of course, fire sharks. That's so great. Yes, of course. I don't know. It's so silly. It's cool, or it's just so silly. I find it just plain stupid. But considering I'm not really enjoying this series, I'm just going to say it's stupid. Here we have Malekith fighting Venom. And Malekith, for some odd reason, finds that he can communicate with Eddie Brock's symbiote. He tells him about the god of this symbiote and how he finds it that is an interesting fact. So apparently what it looks like in this comic book, others would say it looks like Malekith killed Venom, but it pretty much says in it that he teleports Venom away. He plunges the Black Knight's sword into Venom, and one can never have too many weapons, Malekith says as he teleports Venom away. Apparently he has some plan to use Venom in his War of the Realms. Whatever that is, we'll have to check out future issues. And considering I'm not really enjoying this, I don't really care if I know or not. But I'll probably review it anyway. We switch over to Captain America's team, where they have arrived at where they think Thor is being held captive. And what do they see? A range of mountains. But it turns out that it is not a range of mountains, but a pile of dead frost giants. And Wolverine comments, "Keep your distance, boys. I know that look. It's called a berserker rage." What do we have? We have an utterly mad Thor screaming for more frost giants to slaughter. He is covered in their blood, and he's also bleeding out from dozens of wounds. And he says, "Send them all! Send me all the frost giants to kill!" And this is how this issue ends. For everything about this issue, this was the only good part of the comic book. The War of the Realms, issue 3, was just padding. They could have cut this out or cut this into different issues of this and made this a smaller series. If you like this review, subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and leave a like, and leave some comments down below. Also, make sure you tell your friends about my channel and get them to subscribe too. Also, If you're watching but you're not subscribed to my channel, please just subscribe. You'll get notifications, and I always upload new videos every day. One final note. Keep checking back in future videos for more information on my own independent comic book that I will release very soon, or at least in the next few years, Scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and well, that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another review.